everybody.
Oh my god! You were talking so nicely before. It's like, oh, yeah, this and that. Yes, the other thing. Click. Oh, everybody! Anyways, continue.
If you guys enjoyed this video, you guys should join our Discord server.
And then that happens.
Or become patrons. As you guys know, I have the flu. So, Hunter also had the flu.
Yeah.
You seem to be a lot better than me, though.
Yeah,
But I haven't talked in 5 days. Like, that's the level of flu that I had.
Here's the thing, I also am not, I'm not
used to my own voice.
But I'm also, like, I didn't go to, like, lecture today. I've been, like,
yeah,
sleeping.
lucky fucking you. I had a midterm yesterday. But anyway.
Listen,
we're talking about why Grimm Eclipse is a piece of shit.
Oh, this is why we're doing it? Here's the thing, guys, right?
Okay. Okay, so before you guys get, like, offended, alright, we have 160 hours in this game. I'm pretty sure that both of us are qualified.
We can't judge. We can't judge. And it's not even that it's a bad game, right? Alright, so can I just
No. So this is probably gonna be a multifaceted series. Like, this is probably gonna be like, this isn't gonna be the first video. Like, this is just gonna be one. Like, I just want to talk about, like, gameplay and level design and try to, like, forget about the voice acting and all that stuff. Like, that's and the money and all of that, right? In terms of the actual game, here's my defense of my own point for a second. Like, to play devil's advocate for something I haven't even said yet. You're not supposed to put 160 hours into this game. You're not, okay?
We only did it because we did videos about RWBY, and we needed a visual, and this is our visual.
This game is a 2-hour experience when you first play it, which is incredibly short for any video game, I think. But at maximum, I would say this game is like a 10-hour experience, which probably isn't good for a game. Like, games are supposed to be 20-hour experiences.
I mean, some of my favorite games are only about, like, 10, 12 hours long.
Like what?
Like Arkham Asylum. That's only about that long.
Like Batman?
Yeah, Batman game. Oh, so good.
Well, maybe I'm just thinking of JRPGs.
Oh, JRPGs, like, JRPG isn't a JRPG until it's 120 hours.
Yeah, I know. But, like, for me, like, this is gonna be, like, a personal thing, but also objectively, I don't know how good this game is, to be honest. But, like, to say that it's just my opinion, games should be longer than 10 hours, because if you can complete the game in a day when you're playing normally, it's not long enough. That's my thing, okay? It's that, like, I get that there's speedrunning and stuff, so I'm not saying including speedrunning. I'm saying that if you play normally and you walk slow and, like, look around and everything, this game is only a 2-hour game. You know what I mean? Maybe 3 at most. Like, if you're really, like, struggling to figure out what to do, right? 3-hour maximum, okay? But, like, something like one of my favorite games that Hunter doesn't like, so, like, Kingdom Hearts is, like, an 8-hour just cutscenes. Like, it's just 8 hours of cutscenes, and I get it. It's like it's a vaguely JRPG. I wouldn't categorize it as a JRPG necessarily.
I don't know how to categorize that game. I don't know if I'd categorize it as a game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 8 hours of a movie, right? And so that's the first thing, is that, like, Grimm Eclipse doesn't even try, like, in the cutscene department. And I'm not saying that games should have cutscenes. Like, there's probably a better argument to be made that games shouldn't.
When it's an animated show, like, you wonder.
Think, right? Okay, because that's the thing, is that there's no, like, sense of pacing. Like, there's no climax of this game. Like, okay, so I know I said I wanted to talk about gameplay, but I think that, like, part of the gameplay is the story, is that this isn't a story, or, like...
It's just a whole lot of people doing stuff.
Yeah, or it's, like, a bunch of levels that were made individually and then put together later, if that makes sense. Like, it's like that each thing is supposed to have, like, a beginning and an end, and, like, everything mixed. Like, here's my tagline for Grimm Eclipse. It's like, you will never orgasm. There is no climax. Okay, like, you will sit there for 2 hours and nothing will happen to you.
You
all right?
will never come. That's horrible.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying, though, because that is the gist of this game, is that you will never come. Like, there's a payout. Like, there is no payout. There's nothing, because it's like, Because it's like, it's basically like if you were playing Kingdom Hearts and you just played all the worlds, like all the Disney worlds, but then you never like got any of like the main storyline, and that's it. That was just the end of the game. Like you went to, you went to Agrabah, you went to Wonderland, you went to Peter Pan, then you went to Winnie the Pooh, and then the game ended. Like, that's basically how this feels sometimes.
I feel like with this, it's just an utterly, I mean, it feels like they made a game like this weird like subpar anime hack and slash game, and they were like, let's add RWBY stuff.
And I know that it was a fan-made game originally, and
Really?
Rooster Teeth acquired it. Like, it just kind of took it from the fan that had made it because they wanted it. But like at the same time, like you didn't have to, you know what I mean? Or at least don't put your name on garbage. No offense to the fan. If this was a fan-made game, that's a different story. But like Rooster Teeth, you put your name on the game, and now the game is
I mean, the game it's been for a while.
It has been, and that's the other thing. So to get back to the gameplay thing, because this relates to the story, like it's very like systematic. You go into the environment, and in most of the first couple levels, you're defending something. So you're defending these towers or whatever.
Yeah, it's so stereotypical, isn't it?
Like, you go into the area,
Rote.
you fight stuff in the first area, you finish it. You walk around, you fight stuff in the second area, you finish it. You fight stuff in the third area, you finish it. The fourth area is the boss area, you have to guard something. And that's like the first couple levels. Like, there is no surprise. It's just you go in, you do it, and I get it's a hack and slash, but that doesn't mean it has to be lazy. Like, for me, the reason I like other hack and slash games is because it's mostly like a stress relief thing. It's that you can beat a lot of things and then get your anger out, sort of thing, right? And so it's not about it being... a hack and slash doesn't mean a hack job. That's basically what I'm trying to... That's basically what I'm trying to say. And so, like, one of, like, the major, I guess, problems with Grimm Eclipse is that it doesn't feel like it's finished. Like, you're doing all these levels, and it's basically the same thing over and over again with new, like, environments, and you never interact with the characters or the environments that you actually, like, really liked from the series at all.
In a meaningful sort of way.
Exactly, and, like, I guess there's the Grimm and their other characters that you interact with, and I guess, like, you are, like, a character, but it's not like you're fighting alongside the RWBY girls, and the RWBY girls are computers, and then there's you. Like, you're just alone if you're on single player, and if you can find people to play with, I mean, good for you.
We have multiple
But you
times.
can't interact with them, like, you can't talk to, like, you can talk to them in chat, but I'm saying, like, there's a difference between, like, interacting with NPCs in the environment, and then, like, knowing everybody around you is fake.
It's just kind of like an ugly game where, like, the sound effects aren't that nice, the settings are kind of not great, even when they were quite nice from the show. Like, the fighting is kind of rote and, like, the bare minimum. It's like the whole point of Grimm Eclipse. They made a machine and it was like, make a video game, and the machine was like, okay, and it made this.
The whole point of, like, RWBY was supposed to be that you're a part of a team or whatever, but you can't get a team unless you're playing on multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like, if this game had AI, and that AI was Team RWBY, and you got to pick who you wanted to be, and then the other girls talked to you.
AI would be, though, like, holy shit.
It would be bad AI, but you wouldn't be alone, because, like, look at you. Like, here's the story when you're in single player. You're Pyrrha going on a mission by yourself with Dr. Watts and all of Dr. Oobleck talking to you, right? And Ozpin or whatever. And you run into this crazy scientist guy, and then you have to fight him all by yourself. Like, in single player, the story of Grimm Eclipse doesn't make any sense, because the story of Grimm Eclipse is supposed to be Team RWBY goes into the forest for a mission, and then they sort of get lost or whatever, and they get shipped on an island by accident, and then they go fight Dr. Merlot, right? Because here's the other thing. And I know that this isn't necessarily, like, gameplay related, and so that's why I'm saying that these videos are gonna be a like, we're not just gonna do this one. We're probably gonna do, like, another, like, 3 of them, because there's a lot to complain about, and we only really have these precious 10 minutes of your time, you know? The thing is that this story is canon to the show, and that nobody is going to care because the game is not that great. You know? Like, they took all this time to introduce this character who could actually be interesting and who has his own song and all of this stuff, like, and then they shoved him in this game and nobody knows who he is. Like, do you guys understand that I've had to explain to, like, I know this is an exaggeration, but literally like thousands of people, because 1,000 of you guys sometimes watch my videos, who Dr. Merlot is, even though he's canon to the show, because nobody gives a shit about Grimm Eclipse.
It's making the poor woman ill. The video game is making the woman ill.
Yeah. It is. This was the perfect video to do when I had the flu. But yeah, that's the thing, is that you have, like, such an interesting concept, and then it's wasted, and how do you fix that? Like, you can't just fix this, right? Or, it's not a matter of can't, okay? Here's another problem that I want to talk about in another video, so I hope that you guys can sort of anticipate that, right? The other problem is that they know that they've made a hot mess, and they are choosing not to fix it because they know that they're still gonna make money off of it, right? And they could be doing something behind the scenes, and I just don't know. You guys could argue that.
There could be a sequel.
Some of you have, like, there could be, like, some sort of update to this that's happening, right? But if that's something they're doing, they should tell us, because, like, we're losing faith in them by the seconds, you know? We don't have that much time, right?
It doesn't appear that they're gonna make another video game, or, like, Rooster Teeth-related game.
They shouldn't make another video game. If they want, they can outsource it to someone else. Like, you know, Square Enix making a RWBY game. Like, that's different, okay?
That would be wild, my god.
That, yes, it would be wild, but, like, they shouldn't be making their own games anymore. And they shouldn't be just, like, taking people's fan games and giving the... I'm guessing that guy got money.
Here's hoping.
Right. He got a job with them, so I'm guessing he got paid, right? So, you know, lucky him, but, still. But that's another thing, is that I want to kind of talk about this in other videos, but the thing is that I feel like the marketing people, like, not Miles and Carrie, so don't blame them, but, like, and obviously this is the marketing people's job, so don't go hate the marketing people, okay? But they know that people will buy other shit, and so they produce other shit anyway. Because they know people are gonna buy it, like the Pyrrha plushie. Like, they looked at that and said, someone's gonna buy this, even though it looks questionable, right? And then they made it a meme after, because they knew that they had
I guess they had
made
to do
mistakes,
something with their
right?
mistake. Yeah.
And people did buy it, and people bought it for the joke, right? And, like, there's other things on their website where I'm like, that looks weird. Like, that just doesn't look, like, this looks like... Okay, have you seen, like, really bad, like, knockoff, like, things for, like, Sonic and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like, bad, like, backpacks and all
like
of this other stuff. Like, they look like knockoff RWBY
paraphernalia.
Paraphernalia, exactly. And, like, you got me this Blake plushie, and trust me, I treasure her, and I love her, but she looks weird, and there's nothing that's gonna fix it. So this game is another one of those things, is that they demand you pay $20 for it, which is another story. They make you pay $10 for costumes, for all of the costumes that you can buy. They make you pay $5. Why are the costumes more expensive? That's another story. Why are the costumes more expensive than incorporating an entire team into the game, right? And so, they know, even though they know that $10 for all the costumes, that's half of the game. Like, that's half of the price of the game is the costume packs, which makes no logical sense unless they're really underpricing the game because they know that it's questionable, right? But they know because people will buy it, like I bought it because I had to do a video on it and I made that money back, but... right? they know that they can use you and your money, and so they're going to do it. And so that's where I'd like to leave this video off for now. I think that we need to do more videos about Grimm Eclipse, just because there's so much to cover. Like, we barely scratched the surface here just about sort of the game and how the game runs. We haven't talked about voice acting or really, like, major issues with the story outside of, like it being canon, but at the same time, you can also put in Juniper, but they said the Juniper story isn't canon, but at the same time, you're also alone, right? And so, that's how the story reads, right? And so, that's why the story, I think, reads as non-canon to so many people. It's because you're like, well, how can this be canon if I'm by myself, right? Because, like, why would RWBY or Pyrrha or whoever go on a mission alone? But it's like, no, you're supposed to play in multiplayer for the canon story, because you're supposed to be everyone together fighting Merlot, you know what I mean? Like, it's a weird little thing to kind of get your head about. But yeah, there's lots of problems with this game, and I'd like to make multiple videos talking about it, but this is the only one for now, because I want to gauge you guys' reaction and all that stuff. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, remember that you guys should join our Discord server, become patrons on Patreon. We